Hey guys, this is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into this channel here. So it's been a minute since I've done collective readings, so we're gonna just pull some oracle, pull some tarot, and see what comes through. Especially considering this new moon in Taurus, I believe, is coming up on May 7th. But of course, as always, these collective readings are timeless. So whenever you come across this channel, whenever you come across this message, drop into the seat of your intuition, let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you, which messages are for others, and we'll see. Let's tap in here and see what's going on. Okay, they want to talk about, like, specifically they want to tune into like something on a more vibrational aspect. So a lot of times when I channel, sometimes they mention very physical things that we're dealing with in this reality. They want to talk about the collective energy and kind of where we're going and what we're learning, which is interesting because you have step out of your comfort zone with the North Node. So it seems like energetically they want to kind of push the collective in a direction of kind of like, I'm hearing like a bright star. So like you are a bright star is what they're saying. And it's like, it's almost like Spirit's wanting you to channel some of that bright star energy, because it's almost like I'm hearing like you've been holding back. So it's almost like some of you don't feel like you're in a safe space. I'm getting some self-expression issues. So specifically, I feel, not that it's blocked or anything, but it's almost like this throat chakra. It's almost like you're not letting out something that wants to come out. So some of that may require stepping out of your comfort zone. It feels uncomfortable to shine as bright as you do. But Spirit's like, that's okay. I'm hearing like that's a tale as old as time. And people before you have done it, which means you can do it too. New moon in Cancer says relax. So I'm pulling like different oracle cards, and then we'll pull some tarot underneath it. So these are just different columns that we're going to look into. You have the new moon in Cancer, relax. Now, it's almost like, it's not like Spirit's expecting you to do anything, but it's almost like you need a reprieve from life. I see a lot of hectic energy happening. There's a lot of chaos happening around you. And also, this is just a time for rest. You don't need to have earned it in any way. I'm hearing like productivity comes at a cost. So when the pendulum swings completely one way and you are expending a lot of energy trying to keep up with life, it has to swing the other way as well in terms of needing to come back and rest. And it's almost like, try not to expend efforts where efforts don't need to be expended. And that comes with excessive worrying. Like if you're somebody who's worrying a lot, that's something that Spirit kind of wants you to relax into. It's not necessarily a card of saying do less. So that's the energy that I am getting for some of you, is that you need to step back and do a little bit less. Just because it's almost like you can still do a lot of the things that you're doing, but you don't have to do it with the intensity that you've been doing. So it's almost like you still can do what you are doing. You can still do a lot of the things that need to be done. Like if you're somebody that straightens up the house, somebody has to go to work, someone has to take care of the kids, blah, blah, blah. You have a lot of duties and responsibilities. And I understand that, but it's almost like Spirit's like, you don't have to invest 100, like you don't have to show up as 110%. So I'm getting that, like, as a collective, like whoever's hearing this message does need to like step back a little bit. And trust me, I relate to this pretty hardcore too. So it's not just you. I'm not just like speaking on shit I don't know what I'm talking about, right? So like I can get this. And it's almost like they want you to offer yourself a little bit of grace. It's almost like you're a little too hard on yourself about getting certain things done. And it's almost like I'm just getting like you need to dial back. You need to turn that dial back a little bit and take the pressure off of yourself by focusing. I'm not going to say focusing less, because focusing is not the right word. But again, it's just looking at that intensity of the motions and getting just mentally, physically, and emotionally like invested in something. And Spirit wants you to like almost detach a little bit from what you're doing, just in terms, just to conserve your efforts, just to conserve your energy. Because it's almost like if you conserve and pull back on that energy, you can actually, first of all, you can catch up on some rest. I feel like a lot of you are needing that rest. Secondly, you can use, it's almost like you can spend that energy elsewhere and work on stepping out of your comfort zone here with that North Node and focusing on that self-expression. There are so many things you can do with this energy, but I feel like just in general, that could help bring a better life balance. Because like they're showing me percentages. They're showing me like you're doing like 120% actually. They're showing me like 120%, and dialing it back to 80% is going to make a huge difference in your life, or a huge difference in your life. So let's see what other card we got going on here. You also have Knight, be brave and honest. So again, stepping out of your comfort zone is gonna, it's gonna, sorry, something else is being channeled through. Stepping out of your comfort zone is going to require bravery, but they're also saying the mark of a good character, like the mark of main character energy, good character energy, is stepping forward when you feel it's necessary. It's almost like I'm getting kind of like a standing up to a bully type of energy, like you're standing up to like, or you're speaking. It's almost like you're like affirming boundaries or saying no to something or someone. But I feel like this is something that is, it's like something unfair is happening or someone is being treated poorly and you're kind of stepping up and saying no. This could be against you. This could be against others. I do feel like for some of you, you're fighting for others, is what the energy is coming through as. But I'm hearing like be brave and honest about what you're willing to put up with. So I do feel like this is in relation to boundaries. We kind of skipped over this card a little bit, and I do want to talk about it. But this knight, before we jump into the ancestral land card, this knight is, it's that courage card. It has like the rose in the corner. We're going to dig more into it when we pull the tarot, but they're drawing attention to the rose here, saying like, the rose is so beautiful, yet it has its thorns, and it's almost like you, in order to have the courage to pick the roses, you can't be afraid of the thorns. And that's almost kind of like spirits, like they're showing me you being a lion cub, but having like really sharp teeth. So you're still able to take shit out in the jungle. Like you're still able to take stuff out. You're still able to bare your teeth, and because like the lion in itself is just almighty, and that's kind of the energy that they want you to sync up with is I am mighty even though I might not appear to be so. Or even if I don't feel like I'm in a position to be mighty, just because of the light you carry and because of the energy you have, it's almost like you have that certain power so long as you wield it correctly. You have lay of the land, ancestral wisdom, and I'm hearing, and I don't know, I'm hearing you're the superstar of your ancestral line. You could be somebody that's very focused on breaking chains in this lifetime. I am getting kind of healer aspects with this. So being a shaman, it's almost like I'm hearing you being a mentor for other people. So you could be in the realm of teaching other people in some capacity, or holding apprenticeships, or teaching in a class, or being a professor, or I don't know, just even being like a manager or a supervisor, somebody who is like training, some type of leadership material going on here. But it's almost like you have those capabilities and you're kind of the superstar of your ancestor line. And I do see your ancestors kind of applauding you in the background, like, woo, go, go. But I see a lot of it like y'all struggled in the past, and whether it be through, I feel like a lot of it is in relation to family, like you've had some rough childhoods, or you just had some issues with certain members of the family. I am getting specifically parents, but I'm also getting like some grandparent energy, some sibling energy, but I do feel like a strong thing with the parents for a lot of you. But it almost, I'm hearing like, I'm not doing that again. Like I heard your soul be like, I'm not doing that again. Or like, it was not a fun time. But it's almost like because of those hardships and because of the adversity you faced, you've grown stronger as the little lion cub you are. They keep showing me this lion cub and how you've kind of gotten scrappy. Like you've had to get scrappy at certain points. And even if you don't feel as scrappy anymore, you still have that fighter's blood in you, that knows when to come out and kind of chew someone out for treating someone else poorly. You know what I mean? Or like, it's almost like, you have these teeth for yourself too. I'm hearing like, bare your teeth more. It's okay to bare your teeth more because sometimes that's kind of the knock in the head that other people need, right? So let's get into some tarot. My friend got me this cute Pokemon deck. She got it off of Etsy, this Pokemon tarot deck. So you don't have to know Pokemon to like get them, but they're very pretty cards. So let's pull some cards and kind of see what we can channel through with this. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pull this up first because it's like shouting at me. So we just talked about ancestral wisdom, lay of the land, right? And this was talking about ancestral wisdom and all that stuff. We have 10 of swords. I'm hearing like death to the trauma, like death to that thing. Like we're going to be the one to break it. Whether you're like, I'm not going to have kids and I'm not going to carry that through the next line, or it's going to be, I know exactly what not to be to my children, or it's, I'm not going to leave that mark on the world that my family left, or these people in my life before that have hurt me, this mark that they left, I will not leave that mark, because that is just a mark of negativity. So with the Ten of Swords, is quite literally saying, like, no, death to that side of my life. We're done. If you were caught in victimhood mentality, like, you're not in that anymore, and that's okay. We gotta go through those feelings of hurt and those feelings of being trapped or feeling trapped before we can step out and realize that we're our own saviors. We have the Queen of Wands here, and this is you stepping into like this badass, confident energy of, yes, I can. I'm hearing like, this is my moment, and you can't take it from me. I'm getting like, for a lot of you, you might have had family members that had like narcissistic tendencies. I will not throw around like the term narcissist or narcissism, because those are official psychological diagnoses. But it's almost like that is the word that's coming to mind, are like those narcissistic traits. But it's almost like you've had to deal with that. And the Queen of Wands is a creative. You know, she holds a sunflower, and to me that symbolizes hope. So holding the sunflower, symbolizing hope, it's like the walking sunshine in her hands. And that's almost like something that you are carrying. It does have this magical quality because she is wielding her own staff here. And the reason it's coming through so magical, you have the magician that follows, and I'm not surprised, because the magician is all about having all of the tools at your disposal, being the master creator of your life, and harnessing the energies. And I'm hearing like you're reaching your potential with this. So through breaking those chains, it's almost like in your family line, you're like, family has felt limited, or they went about life in a very limited way, and it's almost like you are learning to approach it differently because you felt too stuffy or like closed in from the way that you were like taught or shown. So now that you're stepping out into your own, or that you've been out on your own for a while, like whatever the energy is, you've come out of it and you're growing more confident. You're stepping into your power fully and saying, I can create and manifest whatever it is I want. This infinity symbol, I think it's I don't actually know what Pokemon that is. Is that a Fennekin? I don't know. It's the second evolution of a Fennekin, and I can't quite say what that is. But a lot of these have the newer Pokemon on them, and I don't know them. Original 150, I see that Arbok in the background. But, you know, we have this Pokemon here with the little infinity symbol wielded from his wand. And to me, that is very much like infinity, like the power of source, the power of source, infinity, the great love, the great divine. Infinity is that symbol of forever, it goes on, eternity, but it's almost like it always shines to me as like an eternal love. It's like a force of creation. It is a force of, you know, energy is not created or destroyed. It just keeps looping in a circle, and it's just what you make of it. And you're quite literally making magic, like you're manifesting magic around this. So you are making your life, and I'm hearing clever, I'm hearing the word clever, like you're quite clever. So you have clever ways of doing this. So I feel like other people in your situation, whereas they might feel stuck or they wouldn't know or understand to take the path that you're thinking of, Spirit's just complimenting how clever and creative you are. And like, it's almost like you're resourceful, like you're taking different opportunities and you are creating something new from it, or you're having like these intriguing ideas that might seem kind of off the wall to other people, but you're following them and you're like, dang straight, I manifested that, or dang straight, I can, like, it's almost like people expect you to make a mess of things, but it's almost like if you do make a mess, it's like a glorious mess that manifests something greater. Like, I don't know, it almost feels very beautiful in a way, but it feels like a really good thing. I'm hearing like there are good signs that you're manifesting like abundance this way. And that's your superpower, is that you're clever and you can like turn this in a different direction. You know what I mean? Like you can take apples and like grow a lemon tree somehow. I'm not really sure how you could do that, but that's what they're showing me. You're taking apples and then you're like doing like an apple and a lemon together to make a peach or something, or close to a peach. And I'm like, this is so interesting, like this alchemy thing going on. This is the symbol that they're giving me. So that being said, like you're being crafty, you're clever with it, you know? So we're going to go back to step out of your comfort zone, because we're going to expand on it with the tarot. So stepping out of your comfort zone, you have the King of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands, and you have the Ten of Pentacles. And I'll hold this up for a little bit, but I am going to stare at it and see what channels through with it. Oh, it's a very comfort zone. The King of Pentacles is about standing firm. I'm hearing, I will allow it. This is allowing it financially. This is allowing it energetically. This is allowing the discomfort to take place in your space. The King of that's so interesting. It's almost like the King of Pentacles is like an access point to the material. It's like you are telling spirit, I allow this. I allow myself to step out of my comfort zone. I allow myself to sit in this discomfort, because anytime we change, that is the energy of discomfort. Like, it's just going to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels exhilarating. Sometimes it's really fast. And sometimes it feels like the rug is ripped out from under us and it feels like we're floating through space. Sometimes for me, change feels uncomfortable. It feels almost like the world is shaking a little bit. Like the energy just feels like it's going and it doesn't stop. And it just doesn't settle until you get used to things. But the King of Pentacles is just a very strict, like, some people blame the kings for being very stuffy, but I think in situations like this, something as strict as the King of Pentacles would be very important. I think the King of Pentacles is the most strict out of all the kings, where he is very streamlined, traditional, in this is the way that it's always been done. This is the way I'm going to do it. And if anybody's going to scream, like, just do the thing, whether you like it or not, it's going to be the King of Pentacles, I feel. So King of Pentacles is just a simple act of saying, I allow this. You have the Seven of Wands. And, like, again, material, financial, or even just the decision to do that is enough to turn the tides here and let that in, like, let new information come in, let new, it's almost like loosen up those walls a little bit, because there's a certain point where your boundaries become walls. So try to make sure that your walls aren't fortified enough to where you can let in new experiences, right? To help you grow. I'm hearing, like, experiment a little bit. You have the Seven of Wands, like, you're spending too long, like, it's almost like you spent too long protecting something that no longer needs protecting to the same degree that has aided you before. I do feel like some of this could stem from, like, a background trauma type of thing. I do feel like for a lot of you, it's just habits that you've had. That's like, you know, I'm not going to put myself out there. But it's almost like you have the skills. I'm hearing for a lot of you that you read a lot. So it's almost like you have a lot of the resources available to you. You have the skills, you have the knowledge. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, whatever it is you're trying to do, Spirit's almost like, you know, do it, go do it, you know. But the Seven of Wands is about protecting something, but I almost feel, Spirit's like, you're fighting too much. You're fighting all of these energies and it doesn't concern you. And you don't have to engage with these energies at all. You can go to your own plot of land away from this army that's trying to fight at you, and you could just do your own thing and grow your own little garden, and then just recognize and appreciate how beautiful what you have to offer really is. Because I see you actually walking away from these energies that you're, like, being defensive against, because it's almost like you have nothing to prove to anybody. Like, usually when you're trying to prove something to somebody else, it's almost like you're trying to prove something to yourself. And it's usually a mirror like that when we are, like, when we're looking for love, when we are looking for, like, when we seek attention or approval, like, we are usually searching for something that we ourselves need to provide. Not to say community is not important and that connection is not important, but when it comes to, like, the extreme, or, like, when we start to energetically shift to feeling like we need those things, like, need them, that's usually when the energy shifts and when things start to get a little bit like, look for that in yourself first, and then you can welcome things in. That's when we start shifting into that energy. But you also have the Ten of Pentacles, and I feel like stepping out of your comfort zone just leads to amazing things. The Ten of Pentacles is about having it all, financially, generationally, if you want that family, house, car, whatever. This is more than just material gain. This is spiritual gain. This is feeling that sense of fulfillment. I find the Ten of Pentacles to be like all of the tens basically wrapped in one. It's working hard to get to a certain point with the Ten of Wands, but not like, it's working hard with the Ten of Wands. It's closing out a lot of the old stories with the Ten of Swords. It is the emotional fulfillment of the Ten of Cups, and then it's having a lot of the physical of the Ten of Pentacles. And that's the type of energy that I get with the Ten of Pentacles, is having it all. This really feels like all of the suits kind of wrapped up in one. Stepping out of your comfort zone does lead to, like, a brighter light for you. So, and can move you along on this destination of reaching that Ten of Pentacles, whatever that looks like for you. We're going to look at New Moon in Cancer. Give me a second, I'm going to drink my water. We have New Moon in Cancer, relax, and we talked about this a little bit, need to take a step back. Your tarot cards for this card are Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and Strength. So we have more Pentacles cards, so some of you may have come to this reading feeling concerned about finances, in which case, apply these messages as they see fit. Strength. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Page of Pentacles first. When it comes to New Moon in Cancer, relaxing, the Page of Pentacles is needing to like, I'm getting something about inspecting the details. So the pages, regardless of the suit they are in, is the forever student. And we are always learning something with the pages. When it comes to Pentacles, we learn about money. We learn about the exchange of our own energy on this earth, of the give and the take, because that's often what the Six of Pentacles is. But it's almost like there's something, what's being channeled through with this is almost that when you step back to relax, it's almost like you can scrutinize the details a little bit better, so you can get hold of your situation and understand truly where you're at. It kind of gives me this assessing type of energy. There's also a soul growth moment here. I feel like I'm hearing like it's remarkable what you can do with a little bit of rest. So that seems to be the soul growth lesson here, just learning to step back and rest, learning to kind of plan to do nothing. So like pencil in that hour where you're just staring off into space. Hour might be very generous for some of you, so maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm assuming if you're watching a YouTube video, even if it's on in the background, just like having at least some time or being able to put some of that time away. But it does feel very much like being able to see things clearer when you step back and relax. It's almost like you're not really getting it. I don't know. It's almost like when you're in the thick of it and you're really getting focused on something, like a lot of the details get missed. So for whatever reason, they're like, details are precious. Details are precious. So keeping that in mind, try not to overlook the smaller things in life that help enhance happiness, enhance your, I'm hearing like enhancing your beauty. That might actually be a detail that some of you are overlooking. Like you're not tending to your own personal like you're not tending to your body, or you're not feeling beautiful, whether you're a man or woman, whatever you identify as. It's like you're not feeling good about yourself. So that is like the tiniest, that's like an example of like a small detail that you might think is not a big deal, or you're prioritizing other things, but something that might actually add a lot of depth to your life and might make you feel a little bit better about where you're at right now and everything that's going on. You also have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is just consistent hard work. It's not like this work is going to end. So I do feel like whatever this is, I do feel like it's important. I'm hearing like it's important. They're saying it's important, but you just got to learn when to take a beat. Because it's consistent effort. Eight of Pentacles talks about long-term work over time, and you just can't keep working to burnout. You can't keep working to that energy of I'm going to do, and then get to a point where it just all falls apart, because like that's not really what Spirit wants for you. That's not what you want for you. You don't want to feel dysregulated when you're trying to achieve your goals, like, because this is your life. Like it's almost like this is kind of that age old, when this card comes up, it's the journey, not the destination. So a lot of times we get very wrapped up in trying to get to that last pentacle, when really that last pentacle is never going to come, because a lot of us feel like we want to be doing this thing for the rest of our life, or we are putting in the efforts, and there's always this end goal. But the thing is, when you get that end goal, it's almost like you get there and it's sigh of relief, and not a celebration. And that's when Spirit's like, you need to enjoy the journey a little bit more, so that way you can appreciate when you do hit that goal, you can celebrate a little bit more. It adds more joy to life, and it also helps manifest, like it helps your manifesting powers a little bit with this Magician card, because I see a lot of room to maneuver where you're at, in terms of like crafting your character or the type of person you want to step into being. And it's almost like taking hold of that power is very important to come back to rest, so you can keep getting in touch with yourself. I keep hearing it's a journey, not a destination. It's the journey, not the destination. You also have strength, so you're cultivating your inner strength through this. And again, I'm hearing just remember your strength. If at every time you feel overwhelmed, if there's a time where you feel overwhelmed, Spirit is just reminding you that you are strong. Again, I'm sensing an energy that has faced a lot of adversity, like especially in early childhood years. Or just childhood in general. Like I'm hearing like you can breathe easy now. It's almost like your later years ended up being like your golden years. But by golden years, I mean like anything after childhood was just so much better. Like I'm getting that vibe. So it really feels like cultivating a lot of that inner strength now. And I'm also, interestingly enough, I'm also seeing the infinity symbol here, and it's right next to the Magician. And we talked about the infinity symbol there as well. So you see, having that strength, cultivating that strength, it's almost like you need to take a step back in order to recognize the strength that you have, because I feel like it is a mindset. If you feel like you're drowning, then a lot of your mind caters to the idea that you're drowning, or that you're not able to keep up, or that you're this or you're that. A lot of the self-doubt might creep in about, like, can I handle this energetically? Can I do it? So there could be doubts with that, but that's why it's important to take a step back and rest, because you can. It's just a matter of how you are putting your energy into things. So again, recognizing that strength that you have, and that will help keep you going so that you can, forever manifest, and then lastly, you have the Knight. Be brave and honest. We talked about that. Now, we talked about sticking up for somebody else because something felt unjust, and you have the Justice card. So I feel like that's kind of confirmation of what we've been talking about already. So standing up, it's either enforcing those boundaries with other people or stepping away from them. But I feel like a lot of it is like self-expression too, with telling somebody no. Justice card does often, not legal advice, but it does offer, it offers needing to speak up when it comes especially to like legal things, and like needing to present your case in a way that is authentic to you, or in a way that basically, like, I don't know, this kind of reminds me of somebody who's like going to trial to like prosecute somebody else, and they need to speak out and say, no, they did this, they did something wrong. Like, that's the type of energy that I feel like is coming through, of like needing to bring justice to someone. So that could be like a very specific thing some of you could be dealing with, because justice does deal with legal stuff. But if not, this is literally, I'm getting just a classic fight of like, somebody bullying somebody else, and then you standing up. Either someone's bullying you or they're bullying someone and you're just standing up and saying, absolutely not, like, no thanks. I do not like it when you do that. So I don't know, it's like the thing that we teach our preschoolers and like the younger kids of like, I don't like it when you breathe on me. I don't like it when you say those words. That was not kind. And then, work it out. And if they don't work it out, you leave. Like, you walk away from them. You don't engage with their energy anymore. And if they're being hurtful, you tell somebody who can do something about it. I.e., in a kid's case, it would be teachers. But in, like, the real world, it would be, like, someone's hurting you physically, like law enforcement. Like, if you can't extract yourself, you would go ask for help from the other powers of the world. You ask for help from people. You have the Queen of Cups and you have the Page of Cups here. So this is almost like taking your emotional intelligence and then learning how to work with it in the world. So it's almost like you have a lot of emotional intelligence with the Queen of Cups here. Your understanding of the nonverbal behaviors and the nonverbal cues that come your way. I'm hearing like you take cues from other people very well. So it's almost like when someone's going to pop. When someone's going to erupt, right? So it's almost like you can use that to your advantage in this situation, because I do feel like you have a lot of these emotional intelligence. Like, it's that, and a big part of the Queen of Cups is that intuition. So it's almost like there's some things that are screaming at you of like, yeah, this person's they're about to blow their top, or like, oh, they're about to say something rude, or oh, they're going to do this. But I feel like in the past you've kind of stood there and you took it, or you said nothing, or, in past situations, maybe not with this particular person or situation, but there have been other situations that have been allusions to you just kind of standing there and taking it, because they are showing me like they're showing me somebody who is standing there just letting people yell at each other, or like letting somebody go and like berate them. But it's almost like when you're recognizing that when the Queen of Cups comes up, you have those skills, but a lot of it I feel like is very internal. Like, it feels almost like what's going on, but you're not telling anybody that you know what's going on. And sometimes it's a powerful thing, but I feel like in this case, it's almost like Spirit wants you to bring that up and out. The Page of Cups here is, again, the forever student, but it's the forever student in the emotions category, the intuitive category. And this is almost like I see you learning, understanding, unconditional love, compassion. Compassion is like a big one that's coming through. Compassion and forgiveness are like the two, like, they're kind of hooked together, like they're kind of roped together in my mind here, like compassion and forgiveness. There's like a dichotomy between those two. There are lessons to be learned with that, and the page being the student, like it's almost like that's one of the soul growth moments from this. But it's also learning how you can bring that emotional intelligence to the surface so that not only can you stand up for yourself, but it's almost like you're learning to use that information not as a weapon, not to be an electric fence for others, but to be a firm boundary for you cannot treat me this way. You cannot say these things. And if you do, this is the consequence. And the consequence will be I am no longer a part of your life. Or the consequence will be that, we're going to have to cut down on the amount of dinners that we have together. Or like, I don't know why that specifically came through, but it's almost like you're like choosing to remove yourself if things go awry, or like that is the ultimatum that you are presenting, even if the other person doesn't take it well. But you have a lot of again, it's a lot of internal, and it's just spirit asking you to step out of your comfort zone and work. I don't know why that seems to be like the cornerstone of your reading, and it makes sense because it's in the corner. That stepping out of your comfort zone. It almost feels like it's bringing up to the surface, like you are learning to bring that emotional intelligence to the surface, not only as a way to protect yourself and others, but also, again, I feel it's just a way to stand up for yourself. It's a way to stand up for yourself. It's a way to participate in the world. It's a way to shine that light a little bit brighter than you have before. And it's a beautiful thing. You recognize these things for a reason, and you're not meant to sit in it like a bucket. It's great to be aware, but do you really want to be aware and sit there and take it? Awareness comes with a huge amount of power. It's just a matter of, I see somebody who is learning how to wield that power. How am I going to bring this to the surface? How am I going to word this to somebody else? How do I want this to come across? Because some of you, I feel like you value the connections in your life, and there's okay, I want to bring these standpoints out to the surface, but I want to keep this connection, or it's I have to have this connection in my life for some reason. Either it's family that you consistently visit, or it's like a coworker you have to work with, but there's someone in your life, there might be someone in your life consistently who you're I need to figure out how to say this. I need to bring it up, but I need to say it because I can't put up with it anymore. I need to bring it up, but it needs to be in a way that doesn't burn bridges. And, so I understand that. I get that. But that almost seems to be the energy of how do I want to use this? How do I want to display this intelligence of mine? I'm going to roll the dice for you and see if there's anything else we have going on. Any parting messages we have for everybody here in the chat right now. 971. Where did my book go? Oh, here we go. I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. And I always read these messages twice because they're a little short. Excuse me. Okay. Divine guidance is encouraging you to choose loving thoughts. Recognize your own divine worth. Love is yours to have, share, and experience. One more time. Divine guidance is encouraging you to choose loving thoughts. Recognize your own divine worth. Love is yours to have, share, and experience. And don't let anybody make you believe otherwise. That kind of goes in with that loving compassion and that forgiveness, lessons to learn in that. And I'm hearing you're very capable. You're very capable of if there's ever a question of I can't handle this, I'm hearing spirits kind of reassure your energy and say you're very capable. You can do this. That's where that inner strength card comes up. So that being said, guys, I hope this helped. Thank you for letting me step into your energy for a little bit and to read for you. If you ever wanted to learn a little bit about tarot, I draw the same card from different decks. We talk about it over on my Instagram and also on my Facebook. I'll try to link my Facebook down below. If not, you can follow me on Instagram. I do post individual cards and I talk about them and the different things that I've channeled with them before. I also offer personal readings. You want to follow the link down below to my website. You can look at the list of services and then send me an email and see what we can get going on for you there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We have weeklies. I post collectives. So if it resonated with you, go ahead, like, subscribe if you're not already. And if that's the case, welcome to the fan. If not, that's totally okay. That being said, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I'll see you next time.